say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give us something to talk about. Something to talk. Let's give them something to talk about. Yeah. Something to talk.
Hello there, welcome to another episode of The Secret Lives of Adults. This is season 2. So super excited about that. My name is Anima Animado, and this joker here.
Why must I be a joker?
I know, right? You're funny. It's Kojo Yankson. A very big thank you to Oak Plaza Hotels in Accra and in Kumasi for giving us, this lovely space. We'll be coming to Kumasi soon, to Comfort Productions for all the production needs that we have. And I think Kojo would also like to thank his special friends.
Black ID. Yes. Do you like this?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's interesting.
He's a talented designer.
He is indeed. Well, thank you, Black ID. So today we are talking about conflict, handling emotions, and navigating, fighting fair, navigating tough conversations.
Yeah. Can we start with an admission that
Okay.
typically humans, we don't fight fair?
No, we don't. It's something. It's a skill.
It's a skill.
It's a skill.
Talent.
You have to learn how to fight fair.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant it's a skill, not fighting fair.
No. I mean, it's a skill you have to learn to fight fair.
We don't fight fair. And I don't know if we should be judged for that. Because the truth is, every human being works in his own interest. That's how we were made. We work in our own interest. We operate in our own interest. Even when we do things for others, we do it because it pleases us or it is in our interest to do things for others.
Yeah.
So the only way to convince people to fight fair is by letting them believe that it is in their interest to do so. And luckily, that's the truth. It is the truth. It's in your interest if you want a happy relationship, a lasting relationship, a productive relationship, a peaceful relationship, whatever it is that you want out of your relationship. If you can fight fair, that's how you get it.
Yeah.
So that means you have to resist some natural urges.
Yeah.
Urge number 1 is to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Which is counterintuitive, isn't it? I mean, if there's a disagreement, then the reason why there's a disagreement is because you believe something.
And the person.
It just happens that the other person doesn't believe the same thing. But if that's what you believe, then why is it right to not defend yourself? Or why must you resist the urge to defend yourself? But the truth is that, hey, Charlie, this is tough. Look, a relationship where there is a winner, the minute there is a winner, the relationship is lost.
There's been a loss, yeah.
So somehow you have to remind yourself of that in every instance. That if I win, we lose. Sometimes I think that the stereotype is that men are better at this than women.
At fighting fair?
No, at not defending themselves.
Okay.
So the stereotype is that at some point the man is just going to say, whatever you say, dear.
Because he's tired.
Yeah, I mean, he can't keep it up. He can't keep the argument up. So look, whatever you say. And the stereotype is that women are in it for distance and irritation. They know that eventually that's how they get their way. If they can keep at it long enough, the man, they will hear whatever you say, dear. And they've won. So with that dynamic in play, you can understand why that stereotype is so common.
Yeah.
So people believe that that's how things tend to work out. I don't know. I mean, it's a stereotype for a reason. Okay. So maybe you can educate us because I can't really speak.
On why what?
Why it is harder for a woman to stop defending herself in the interest of a peaceful resolution.
I have to think about it because... No, it's not for the reason you think. Because for a few years now, I don't have the emotional capacity for arguments and to fight. So I think a few years ago, maybe up to about 3-4 years ago, I could fight all night.
So give us the answer from them.
I'm
Because that's
trying-
where everybody else
I know,
is.
but then the thing is, I'm trying to connect with that person. And it's a little bit difficult because... Anyways, I guess maybe in a woman's mind, when we're fighting with you about something, we're actually fighting for you.
How?
Depending on what it's about. So, for example, you have a group of friends, you go out drinking Friday night, Saturday nights, you come back, you're wasted, you're not being as productive as you could be, and all of that. And we're having an argument with you about it because we'd rather you didn't, or you cut down. In our minds, the thing that gives us that tenacity to continue the argument is the belief that we're fighting for what is best for you. So we can go on for a long time. I think in most women's minds, we're actually fighting for you and fighting for the relationship because somehow subconsciously we feel like we know better how this relationship should go or how things should be or what would make it work. So our fighting with you is fighting for you, which is why I'm sure, Kojo, you've heard a lot of people say, I think Steve Harvey more recently has said that as well, that when a woman stops fighting with you, then to a very large extent your relationship is over because she doesn't care anymore. So sometimes I think that a woman fighting with you is a love language. It's her way of saying, look, I love you, I'm fighting for you, I'm fighting for us, I'm fighting to make you see things a certain way, I'm fighting for, all those things. The sad thing is that we are not taught I wish somebody would teach women how to fight with men. I wish somebody would teach women how to talk to men. Because I've realized that you cannot talk to a man the same way you talk to your girls and all of that. The kind of language that you pick, the kind of words that you choose, your responses in the conversation, in the argument, will all determine whether you'll get to point B today, tomorrow, in 5 years, or never. And sometimes the core issue is not the issue, it's the communication of the issue that is a problem.
Sometimes what you're fighting about is not even what bothers you. It only represents some aspect of what really bothers you. Yeah. And the fact that he doesn't get that is what is making you annoyed. You see, Steve Harvey, what he tends to do very well is that he's good at explaining why people do things. Unfortunately, his style of communication also makes that explanation sound like a justification.
Okay.
It makes it sound like he's telling you that they do it this way, therefore that's the right thing. Yeah. And this idea that a woman argues when a woman stops arguing with you, it's because she stopped caring about you. So if a woman cares about you, she must argue with you. Right?
Yeah.
And to a woman, that's a justification. That, okay, if I want him to know that I care about him, then I must irritate the hell out of him.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but... Okay, go ahead. Or should I?
I would like to finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So look, and the problem with that is that it makes us settle into our natural urges easier. Okay? It's a natural urge. Look, I don't remember who it is that gave this really good explanation that, look, whatever a woman is saying to you, when she's asking you questions, when she's talking to you, what she believes she's doing is she's connecting with you. Yeah. Even if it's an argument, she believes she's connecting with you. So the idea, explaining to a woman that you can improve things by talking less, it's not logical to her. Because the more I talk, the more I'm connecting. The more I ask questions.
What? And how is talking less making us connect more?
Thank you. Thank you for illustrating my point. The idea that you can improve communication by doing less of it, it doesn't make sense.
How?
Thank you. Thank you for
now
proving
I
my
have
point.
a headache. Somebody give me paracetamol.
All right. You see, for us, we know that there is a point to everything. We know that there is a message, there's a core, there's a message, there is an import, there is a point you are trying to make. For us, we need information is an instruction. For a man, I need you to instruct me. Tell me what you need so I can do it. Anything else apart from that instruction is noise to me because I can't do anything with it. You get it? So when you are repeating yourself, and it's something you like to do because you want to make the same point in as many different ways as well. The more you make the point, the more you are connected.
Or the more
right?
we feel like you can hear.
But you still haven't said the thing you need me to do about it. There's this clip that I saw. I shared it actually on my, what do they call it on Instagram? Stories. Right? Yeah. Is this video, right? And it starts off showing a woman like just from her eyes down, and she's talking to a man, talking about this massive headache that she's always having, and how the head, it's just like a weight on her shoulders, and it just makes her head continue to pound. So she's describing this headache in different ways. And the man is like, he wants to interrupt, but he also wants her to speak. But at some point, he just can't help it. He says, but there's a nail sticking out of your head. That's what's causing your headache. So then the camera reveals this massive nail sticking out of the woman's head. And she's like, it's not about the nail. It's not about the nail. I said, yeah, but if I can just take it out, your headache will stop. He said, no. You are not listening to me. So the man calms down and listens, and she starts talking and continues to describe this headache that the nail is causing. And then at some point the man says, that must be very hard for you. And she says, thank you. And then he tries to go and touch the nail again. She's like, bah, 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 bah. Now this is to illustrate the fact that sometimes it's not a solution that a woman wants. Sometimes. It's not a solution. There's a problem. If you solve the problem will no longer be there. And that's what a man wants to do. He wants to solve the problem for you. So that the thing that's bothering you will stop bothering you and you will no longer be bothered. But a woman doesn't always want that. What she wants is that she wants this problem to be an opportunity for her to connect with you. She wants this problem to be a tool with which she connects with you. So she wants to talk about it. And wants you to listen. If the minute you solve it, her thing that she's using to connect is gone. You want it to go. No. I need it there. So this is why in an argument, a woman feels like the more I talk, the better. Right? But you are talking to a person who is waiting for an instruction. He's waiting for you to tell him what needs to be done so he can do it. Because a man doesn't only connect through talk.
So I want to ask what a man connects, but before I ask you that, Kojo, have you and your species ever considered...
We are a gender, not a species.
A gender,
together
a
we are a
species,
species.
whatever it is that y'all are from a different planet. Considered that sometimes we fight with you for the emotional connection that we get in effect. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, I was dating this guy who, very quiet person, not very open with their emotions, and all of that. Not very talkative. So, I'm with him, he's quiet, he's doing his stuff, whatever, I'm doing my stuff. In his heart, he's happy. My girlfriend is here, she's watching a movie, I'm doing something, I feel very connected, I'm happy, it's bliss. For me, it's like, there's absolutely no connection. So I tried to start a conversation, this movie is really nice. Yeah, it is, sure. Nothing. So then I'll pick a fight. Because when I pick a fight, you are fully engaged in it.
He's forced
to
engage.
So it gives me the emotional pacification that I need. And I think this is something that maybe men don't realize about women. Emotional connection is emotional connection.
But why must it only come through talk?
Let me finish. Whether it is a deep, loving conversation that's a positive emotional connection. Whether it's through a deep-seated fight, that's a negative emotional connection. It is still an emotional connection, which is why I tell my male friends that after you have broken up with a woman and she keeps on calling you to fight with you about things in the past, and you continue to have those fights with her, you are satisfying her need to emotionally connect with you. So it will never end. Because whenever she needs that emotional connection, she would have preferred a positive emotional connection. But if she can't get that, a negative emotional connection does the job just as well.
Do you know, I have to confess that aspect of it is something that most men probably do know. They know that you enjoy the fights. We don't know why. You've done a very good job today of explaining why. We don't know why, but we know you enjoy it. And so, especially with our exes, sometimes we just keep up the fight to keep you around.
Yeah.
I've done it before. It's a girl I saw for some time. The sex was fire. Look, she would call me. She didn't have access to me anymore because I was living in a different place. She would call me to argue with me over the most ridiculous things.
And you would argue?
Oh yes, I would give her the satisfaction because I knew that at the end of that argument, if I text her and tell her, come, we need to talk about this, she would jump in her car and come. And when she comes,
fire.
Have sex.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was when I got tired that I stopped engaging her. Then she would text me, and I wouldn't respond. Yeah, I don't block people, but I'll just never respond.
But you see,
to the point where she couldn't get that anymore.
And this is something that men do that's very heartbreaking, even though it's biological. Your attention span is quite short for connection. What is connection to Oma? Which is conversations and stuff. But when you're fighting with us, you put your phone down. You put your laptop down. You are not picking calls. You are in the fight. If we could get that, if we could get that from you, we could get 10 minutes when we need to of that undivided, focused attention, the fights will reduce.
I don't think so. Anyway, I mean, I'm not a woman. I can't speak for you.
I'm speaking. I'm talking from the perspective
I can't speak for you because I am not an expressive. I'm not. I'm a communicator. I like to talk. So in a relationship, I talk a lot. I like to explain things. I love it. I actually get endorphins. I get a high. If we're watching a movie and something happens in it and you ask me a question like, why did he do that? Or why does that look like that? And it's something I know about. I'll pause the movie and explain it to you.
Should I explain to you something just quickly here?
Why do you like doing
Because
this?
sometimes I forget.
So forget, that's the cost of listening to someone. Wow. If I was listening to you, I would forget a million things I wanted to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought you wanted to understand women.
You speak, I'm listening.
Okay, good.
Because you women don't need to understand men.
No, not really.
So you are cutting that one short.
No.
To go back to the agenda of men understanding women. Go ahead.
So, there's two types of attention. Yes, there's two types of attention. There's attention when you want to give it. So you're talkative and communicative and all of that, right? You're in the mood too. And there's attention when you don't want to give it, but we need it. Okay,
so this world is not just about what you need. You can't always get what you want. Yes, I get it. So let's come back to this, the reality of earth, where a woman doesn't get everything she needs in this world. You don't get everything you want. I don't get everything I want. Why should you? Okay, so what I'm saying is this. It's not that we are unexpressive blocks. Some people are. And you gave an example of someone you were with who just doesn't like to talk. But I'm saying that even in a situation where you are with a talkative guy who likes to talk about things, pleasant things, not arguments, there are times when he doesn't want to talk. Give the nigger that. Give him that. Because if you want to still intrude on that, that's when you have to employ your tool of a fight. Because yes, once a fight starts, a man will drop everything to fight with you. Because he believes that there is a problem to be solved. You remember? I said that we need an instruction. So if something is bothering you, then there's a problem to be solved. So yes, he will engage you. And again, it feeds his need to have to explain something that he believes he understands better than you do. His point of view. He understands his point of view better than you. So he then is engaged in trying to explain it to you, and he gets endorphins from that. But the fact that he's in a disagreement with you, he hates that. That kills his spirit. So the thing you are trying to do, the emotional connection you are trying to build, you are breaking it. The effect you want, you don't get it by consistently fighting with your man.
Yeah, no, you don't. You end up losing.
You end up losing the guy. Okay, so at some point, can women focus on what the goal you actually want to achieve, rather than the pleasure you get in doing the things that will actually not get you that goal?
So question, Kojo. Very honest question. How do we connect with you?
Look, I know this will not make sense to you, but just being there feels good to a man. Let me tell you this story. Let me tell you this story.
Men say this.
Let me tell you this. But it's the fact. It's the fact. It feels good to just have you there. Let me tell you. So this woman was telling this story to explain the difference between men and women, right? A difference, one of the many differences between men and women. She said, look, she had been, in fact, they were married. They'd been married for such a long time. This guy is just so quiet. In the beginning, she kind of liked that. She had come from a very, tumultuous relationship, and then she was with this guy who was so calm, so relaxed, and it calmed her, and she loved it. They fell in love. They got married. But this guy just doesn't really, and he's so into his hobbies and the things that he likes. He likes to hunt. He likes to do all these things, and he will go off for hours to go and do his thing. And then he will come home and then spend the evening with her. And she's like, but you spend most of your day alone. Why don't you like, being with me? So he said, okay, come with me. I want to show you what I do, why I enjoy it. So he took her hunting. Now, they were deer stalking. So they set up like a little camouflage thing, and then they hide in it, with the guns ready and everything. And they wait for a deer to come. And if a deer comes, then they shoot it. So it's hours of silence. Because if you talk, you scare. The animals have such great hearing. So you can't even have a conversation. So they were just there for hours, like 4 hours, not talking. No, a single deer didn't come that day.
Of course.
So
I was expecting
at the end of this
obviously
4 hours,
there was no
right?
deer because there was talking. There were questions.
Well, I mean, there were a few moments when he had to.
There were questions.
But by the end of the 4 hours of silence, when they were walking back to the car, he turned to her and said, "This is the most amazing day I've had with you. Thank you for coming." Yeah, that was the
Really?
That was the look she had on her face, because she doesn't understand how it's possible to connect with a man without flapping her lips.
Why do you have to say so antagonistically?
Because you have to understand that not all talk is good. Not all talk is good. And that's not the only way to connect to a person.
How else do you connect
I've
to
just
someone?
explained to you.
By being quiet.
Just be
with
there.
them?
Just be there. Look, look, me. My love language is acts of service. I love being pampered. My girlfriends who like clean my ears, cut my nails, massage my feet. I love it. I love this. Now, if you are doing this for me while I'm watching a movie or reading a book, which means you can't talk because I'm focused on something else. But trust me, the watching of the movie is not as pleasurable to me as the thing you are doing to my ear or my foot or whatever you are doing. That is the real pleasure. Wow. And the fact that you are doing it for me, that's a connection for me. Like, do you know how close I feel to you if you are doing maintenance on my body? Like, do you know how close I feel to you? But it doesn't involve a single word. It doesn't involve any talking whatsoever. Like, now, look, men understand women's need to talk. We understand it. But to us, we actually believe that what you need is for someone to listen to you, more than someone to talk back. So we think that it's something we can do passively. We can be like, oh, wow, oh, you don't say, wow. We believe that those are the contributions you require from us. But you want to do the talking. And that's okay with us. That's okay with us. Because we can quietly listen, quietly sit back and let you go on and on and on and on. Because we know that you are fulfilling a need. But if what you require is for us to also, like we should also have that need.
No, we
must also
require that when we are talking to you, we need to be asking follow-up questions.
We don't have that need. We don't have that. We're just happy you are there. We are happy you are there. We are glad. The fact that you are there, it pleases us. If you, while you are there, you are going to do an act of service or to make a sandwich for us or rub our scalp or do something nice for us, that's even better. That's also great. Oh, by the way, I also like doing the same, like maybe rubbing her feet. I like doing those things too. But I don't need to talk as well.
To connect.
I'm connecting. I'm connecting.
Wow.
Look, this is not a USB port. This is not the only way to connect.
I don't think that women... Wow. Let me speak for myself. I don't think that I have ever considered any other means of connection apart from having conversations. And then, of course, maybe sex, meaningful, focused lovemaking. That's a great connection. But it's always been the talking. It's the looking into each other's eyes and talking about real stuff. That's connection. And it's interesting because, over the years, I've observed that, people, men are actually, they're fine. They feel connected.
Yes.
So when I say, I don't feel connected, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We are fine. I've been with you. I've spoken to you twice today, or I've seen you, I know you're there. Yeah. And sometimes, the strangest thing is when a man expresses how connected he feels to you because you have given him the space and the peace of mind to do what he needs to do, and he knows that when he's done and he comes back to you, there's no... how are we connected to you when you are busy doing something else?
How are you connected to me when I do? You are repelling me. You are not connecting to me. You are giving me something I don't want, but that will somehow connect me to you. It's not even logical.
I can't even remember what the topic was.
It
was fighting fair, but this is not even fighting.
Yeah, because I think there's a really big need for
understanding connection.
Understanding communication and connection. Yes.
So maybe this episode should be understanding connection.
Yes, it started as one thing, but it's really, it's turned into another thing.
Because at the core of arguing or fighting is the need to connect.
That's really it. Thanks for watching.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give us something to talk about.